Crossing over to Tampa, Florida, joined by Wayne Madsen, investigative journalist. Wayne, thanks so much for being with us. What is going on exactly? How do you see now this latest move of Ankara and attacking the PKK as well as what they say as ISIL?
Well, I would imagine if we were really able to see what was going on the ground, the Turkish military is pounding the PKK more than they are ISIL, because we know that the Turks have been tacitly supporting ISIL with not only weapons, but the flow of jihadist fighters from all around the world, these Salafists who have been taken in by this ISIL group. They passed through Istanbul on their way to the Syrian borders. So they've been given a lot of support. Now, the only reason that the Turks decided to allow the U.S. to use the Incirlik air base to attack ISIL positions is because a Turkish military man was killed from ISIL positions inside Syria on the border. The Turkish military is probably the last bastion of Ataturk-style Turkish nationalism in Turkey. So President Erdogan and Prime Minister Davutoglu have to be very careful not to alienate the Turkish military. Meanwhile, the Turkish intelligence service and the Turkish police, as we heard from the PKK representative, yes, they're ISIL is pounding the Kurds, and the Turks are helping ISIL, and that's been the way it's been going in both Syria and Iraq for an awful long time. Turkey, Israel, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar have formed an entente cordiale, and we know what they've been doing in support of ISIL, and I'm afraid they can't keep up the charade, the Turks anyway, that they're somehow involved in real significant military operations against a group that they nurture.
Well, in general, what we've seen, as you've talked about, actually Turkey's support for ISIL and also for those fighting the Syrian government. And we have seen now some bombings have taken place inside of Turkey. But overall, how likely is this to backfire on Turkey when at one point in time it tried to show that it was actually a stabilizing factor or feature in the region? However, we've seen it now be allied with extremist elements. Are we likely to see it backfire even more on Turkey? And why, for a country that wanted to be secular originally, why have we seen it take such an extreme turn?
Because I think President Erdogan has really opened up a can of worms with his policies, and using any means, including supporting ISIL, to overthrow President Assad of Syria. And I think this, and when we hear about ISIL attacks inside Turkey, I'm afraid that it could be the same situation in Saudi Arabia. There have been ISIL attacks in Saudi Arabia, all aimed against the Saudi Shias. And I think the same situation could exist in Turkey. If we hear about ISIL attacks, it's with a wink and a nod from Ankara, just like in Saudi Arabia, ISIL attacks are done with a wink and a nod from Riyadh.
Thank you so much for being with us out of Tampa, Florida, investigative journalist, Mr. Wayne Madsen.